Shalom, double honors to the elders and apostles of Millstone. Shalom also to the one-third Israelites, which include the Judas children, the so-called Negros, Latinos, and Indians, who are still obviously oppressed together, okay? All the way down to the blood-descendant Israelites, who see some of difference in their life when it comes to their behavior, their nature, okay, which is a spiritual people, which Jacob's name was later changed to Israel. That's how we know and how we identify Jacob or Israel today, not by a landmass, and especially not if the scripture is telling you what happened to that land in a way where you can understand it as for the next time, ultimately forever, until the kingdom comes down to this planet Earth. So until that day, what happened to that land will still be what happened to that land. Okay, I'll give you a little tip. It talks about it is given to the heathen man, okay, in this time now. Okay, anyway, the spiritual awakening happening will the spiritual awakening can, which will happen, I mean, okay, or the spiritual awakening is happening before your eyes, and you know, you had the ones that had it first, or who are the first, then you have the ones who come after that, and you have even Israelites in the end seeing it how it is. Okay, all these things, what these prophets talk about, are actually real. Okay, my people, but really not the same behavior, okay, or not the same person in the end than you, because you are a heathen, one of the 2/3 Israelites. If you type it in, okay, I will cut off 2/3 from it. Okay, it talks about these last days, 2/3 of Israel being not like the 1/3, like I said, being a whole different person and actually treated like a heathen. Okay, and 1/3 will be in the truth, talking prophecy, talking truth, talking basically about the kingdom coming down with the right gospel, because you have only one gospel if you don't know. The scripture is definitely talking about it, okay? It talks even about the fact that you are cursed if you preach another gospel. So guess what this gospel is? Exactly, it's the 100% truth, which is given by only one group of believers in between Israel, not just anybody. Okay, anyway, we want to talk about the kingdom today. The term peace, okay, is used in the new so-called New Testament in at least 5 different ways. First, peace as the absence of war or chaos, which will be in the kingdom. 2, peace as a right relationship with God or with Yahweh Shai. That's true. It's not different ways, okay? It's not 5 different ways. It's all one way, okay? If you don't have love for Yahweh Shai and the best possible relationship with Yahweh Shai, okay, the war and chaos will be in your heart ultimately. So basically, it is all 5 is one. This wider means basically. 3, peace as good relationship among people. 4, peace as an individual virtue or state, that is tranquility or serenity. Okay, that's what I don't like about these theology students. They try their way in philosophy and poesy and things like that, okay, which has nothing to do with what we want to learn. Okay, we want to study the things how they are, not some philosophy or something. Okay. Yeah, like I said, it's basically everything uh, in one term. Okay. But they made it. Now it's 5. Now it's 5. So does the scripture talk about 5 ways of the term peace? No, it talks about one peace. Okay. And you can clearly see it for what it is if you just go by what is written. And that is ultimately all together. You can't say you have love to Yahweh Shai, which the world ignorantly and stupidly calls Jesus Christ, if you don't keep the commandments of his Father who are his. Because everything was created for him and by him, if you don't read the Bible. Okay, you don't know, this was just an example, okay? Of course, everything was created for Yahweh Shai and to him. Typed it in and then type after it KJV for King James Version, which is the most or the best translated Bible from the Hebrew directly, okay? So basically, you can't say you love Yahweh Shai or you love God, which the Hebrew term there is powers in the Bible, okay? So it can be the angels, God, it can be everything. It can be an animal that tries to fight you, or a snake that bites you and you are poisoned, okay? It's a power that happens to you, which means it's the powers, okay, God. And then you have the name also in the Bible, which is Yahweh, okay? Why Yahweh Shai, okay, and Yahweh Shai. So basically, if you read God in the Bible, it means powers. Of course, the first power is Yahweh, so it can be everything, but of course the source is Yahweh, okay, just that you know it. So peace, if we look into that word in the Blue Letter Bible, for example, we have some problems with the Blue Letter Bible. If you're into the matter, you know certain things. Anyway, I just type it in, peace. Just think about it. This is a theology student also who has this King James Version Bible here online. At least I have it in remembrance that way. If you know it better, please write a comment, but I will check it out. Anyway, in this video. Anyway, we go into the word peace in the so-called Old Testament. Because, it's more, it's basically the base, okay? And if you have the base, you can go on the advanced stuff, just like the Bible tells us. First the milk, then the meat. Just check that out in Google, type in milk, then flesh, King James Version, and you will see what I talk about. The word peace here, I know that some are really not that about doing something, okay, they are lazy, so I will get it for you, but anyway, this is the Masoretic text, which is the best translation, and here you have the word peace, H7965, and it talks about soundness, welfare, peace, completeness, safety, soundness. Okay, so you will have no safety if you don't keep the commandments of the first sides of the Bible, which is Torah, which is the law, so to speak. So of course you don't have peace. You see? So let's get that verse first, milk and flesh. Okay, and it's Deuteronomy 33 and 14. Okay, and we type it in. Butter of kine and milk of sheep with fat of lambs and rams of the breed of Bashan. Okay, this is not what we're looking for, but I have to click on it real quick to see if it's the right verse. Yeah, exactly, and it's in the so-called New Testament. Yeah, 1 Corinthians 3, 1 and 3, and I, brethren, or Akyam in the Lashon Kadash, the Holy Tongue, which is the ancient Hebrew. So I just use it, just like I say Yahweh in the ancient Hebrew, or Yahweh Shai, okay? And I, Akyam, could not speak to you as to spiritual men, but as to men of flesh, as to infants in Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. I gave you milk to drink, not solid food, for you were not yet able to receive it. Indeed, even now you are not yet able, for you are still fleshly. For since there is jealousy, Salakia, okay, which means forgive me, jealousy and strife among you, are you not fleshly, and are you not walking like a mere man? You see. So if you're still fleshly, which means you are maybe even awakened and you listen to certain Israelite groups and stuff, you know, which have the wrong doctrine, if it's not GMS, the Great Millstone. Okay. Then you will be fleshly still in some cases if you are with the wrong people, if you are with the wrong scripture translation, if you are with the wrong busy with the wrong things in your life, if you are with the wrong woman in your life, which comes first, because women have the most influence on men in most cases. You know, just like Paul said, it's better to be alone. Let's just say it like that. That has, of course, a reason. Okay, the scripture also says it's better to be a eunuch. Okay, if I said it right, somebody who has been castrated. You know, you don't want to be over righteous, but there are things why Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai writes these things down. What this specifically means, you can't say it until you really experience it as maybe even a godlike, until you get that godlike body, because it will be programmed in you to know basically everything what Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai wants you to know, which is almost everything. Not like you are like Yahweh or Yahweh Shai in the kingdom, or then, or you are like King David or something. No, you are just a god like we were gods once before we came into these chains of darkness, which is another term for how these people ignorantly call it fallen angels, and they don't even know what it means. Okay, so they just use fallen angels as a term to say that we were angels and we and you know, these fallen angels are some creatures out there. No, we are the fallen angels, man. Okay, anyway, you see, solid food is basically like flesh, you see, like it says here. But as to man, flesh, as to infants of Yahweh Shai. Let me see. What does the King James Version say about milk and meat? For when for the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again with the first principles of the oracles of God, and are become such as have need of milk, and not of strong meat. You see? And that is a verse. You can see it here because there's a 12 behind what it says, in front of what it says. So of course this is not some philosophy, poetry stuff what we mostly see on the internet, like we went through it already. Okay, Blue Letter Bible is a whole system of philosophy when it comes to they can explain a verse in their way how they want it, but they still use the Masoretic text, so they can't lie that much. Anyway, okay, because you can have the Masoretic text in front of you, okay, and it would be too obvious for them to lie, so they can't just give the explanation in some matters and say, oh, this is what we directly understand of that text in that matter, in that verse, you know. Without going too deep into it, you see, because we don't want to talk about meat here. This is just basically a milk video, okay? So that's why I don't make it about a certain topic. I just do basically an overview video, okay? Some general video. So this is again the Blue Letter Bible, and we will have here the biography of the writer of this site here, and hopefully at least you see Blue Letter Bible Institute. See, so he has an institute, okay. So maybe he has people working for him, or she has people working for her, but still the program runs by him or her, so she or him, her side, she or he has to be in the light, okay, with the true scripture, with the truth of the scripture. When it comes to, he is the one who is public, who came with the idea, okay, he is the one who is he is the one basically who what is the word for, wait, I don't read English every day, you know, so basically what is the word here, yeah, Khan, of course, responsible, okay, he's the one responsible for all that stuff, you know. So you can even get courses here, but you know, one thing is that he is using the name Christ. This is one thing what is most to be mentioned here when it comes to comparing this website with the truth, okay. Anyway, instructors, maybe we click on that here, okay, instructors, okay, mostly men without beard, which means they don't understand the law or the scriptures, to be more direct, okay. So how can they write about the Bible? They're not that Asian guy who has they're not that Asian guy who has no beard growing on his face, okay, almost. So there's, you know, this should at least make you kind of like, Okay, I just say it how it is, man. Okay, you have to go sometimes, and I definitely say sometimes, by something. Okay, I don't say, oh, he has no beard, so he has to be. No, 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 no. Okay, but you get the point. Okay, like I said, the main thing is using this name Christ, which already should make you at least think that this side is lying to you in every kind of way, because it starts with the name, like the beautiful elder Gabar said it. Okay, the name is the worst thing to fail if you want to fail something. Okay, because it's always attention behind it. So basically, okay, this maker of the site is basically lying to you, and he has this guys programming that stuff on the internet for him, and giving people knowledge of nothing or of wickedness, because it's wickedness to not just use the name but also proclaiming it like it's the real name, talking about we can give you studies on that, we can give you courses on the Bible when they don't even know the name. Okay, what makes no sense. Okay, we can instruct you about the Bible, but we don't even know the name. Okay. In real life, okay, you would say, oh, it doesn't matter so much if you know a person, you talk with the person, okay, 2 days, almost every hour, but you know that person freshly, so you don't know her name so perfect, you know it, but the first week you talk with the person all day, all hours, basically almost, okay, but her name is complicated or whatever, and you cannot speak it right even. You cannot speak it right, for example. Okay, you know it. Maybe it is the case that you know it because the name is not so complicated, It's just like a number, okay? You can't know the number of a friend just from your head, okay? You have it in your handy, man, okay? And that's sometimes the thing with names, when you know the person so freshly that you don't know the name perfectly out of your mind straight, okay? That's just normal, okay? Okay, but with the scriptures it's something different. You should know these things because you are instructed, okay? Or you get that information because you search for it, you search for the truth, okay? So it can be that you're talking about you are a teacher even, or an instructor, okay? Or you are hired by some guy, okay? Who is somewhere here, I don't know, I don't have the time to look that up, but these are the guys he hired, and you better believe they proclaim what he is talking about, okay? So how can you call yourself instructor if you don't even know the name from your instruction of the one who you want to study, which is the Most High being, which is the creator of the universe and whatever is out there from there, okay? You especially don't know it, okay? So you don't even know his name, so we don't even talk together, man. Okay, maybe we can talk, but just to show that you are some, I don't know, philosopher or something, but definitely not somebody, okay? And I see it also, I say with intent, not just or only, but I see it also by the way you look here. And with that, all praises to Yahweh, Shem, Shai, Shem, and Kakadash, Barakatam, again, Shalom, okay?